So, while I was in Sedona, I went to a wolf sanctuary, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Now, before we get into it, I'm drinking a Beaujolais today, but I'm not even going to carry on about wine, which sounds like the craziest thing I've ever said. But we got to talk about the wolves. It is so much more important. Now, we went to the sanctuary. Well, as a dog trainer, I wanted to observe wolves and I wanted to see the differences and I wanted to understand them better. And I knew that would just be a beautiful education for me. They also say wolves, it's wolf magic and wolf healing. Like the center is kind of designed around that concept, which is so beautiful. And after our little trippy passed away, we needed some healing. So that was another just beautiful aspect of this experience, is the magical kind of the education and history of the land, which was native land. We learned so much about the land, natives, healing, magic. It was just an extraordinary experience. But let's get into the wolves, because that's what you want to know. Is number one, when we first went into the first enclosure with Thor, it was so interesting watching his body language. And he kind of stood back and he watched, there was 4 of us, watched us and observed before he came up to everybody. And then when he came up to everybody, he gave them kisses, and which I know sounds like a dog, but I cannot tell you how much wolves are not dogs, nor should they ever be a pet. And most wolves that are adopted don't make it. They pass away because they are not meant for domestic life. They are not going to grow up and act like a dog does. Wolves are wolves, and they should be in the wild where wolves belong. They are not dogs. They are not pets. But back to Thor. So Thor came up to us and he gave us kisses. And I mean, I got a kiss from like chin to forehead, like just a slurp of a kiss. And when he was kind of done with us, he interacted. He was very sweet, very generous. And when he was done, he just kind of went and laid down, and he was done. He was clearly like, all right, I'm good, guys, I'm done. And that was kind of interesting. Like he did the coming up and greeting us and kissing us because we needed it. He didn't need it. He was doing it for us. Whereas a dog is so people pleasing, they probably would have kept coming around wanting to interact and get, affection and get, the good boys and all of that stuff. Thor did not need that from us at all. Now, the second enclosure we went into was Larka. And Larka is the one that meant the most to me. And she came from a bad situation where somebody wasn't really kind to her. And then she also has recently, I think they said like a year ago, lost one of her pack that she was really close with. And so she was depressed. All this to say she was depressed. And to be honest, that was evident the second you walked in. There wasn't like the joy or the excitement. There was just a lot of, she was very kind of lethargic, beautiful, but lethargic. But we would go over and sit in a chair, and she would let us pet her, and she really kind of connected to my husband, and she's scared of men, so that was a really beautiful thing, the way she looked into his eyes and just felt his energy. And he does have great energy when it comes to dogs, but that was with animals, but that was a really beautiful thing to see her do that. But when I went and sat next to her, I was petting her, and the people couldn't hear, my husband, the other people, nobody could hear what I was saying to her. But I said to her, I lost somebody too, and I'm sorry that you lost someone. And I just kind of elaborated on that and had a little conversation with her. The moment I said that, she opened up her leg, to like encourage more attention and more pets, similar to the way a dog would do. And then as I'm petting her, she kind of opened up her whole body and kind of went almost belly up for me. And it was, if you didn't know what I was saying, and you didn't know, it just looked like she was being, connecting to me and being affectionate. But it was the timing of what I said and her doing that was so beautiful and special and magical to me. So that was just if I could have went and spent more time with one of the 3, it would have been her, hands down. The next enclosure we went into was a young wolf, about a year old, and Luna, gorgeous, the most wolf-like looking one of the 3. And he kind of prefaced before we went in that she could be kind of hyper and she might jump on us because she was young. And the other couple that we were with had a Belgian Malinois. So we were all kind of dog savvy, animal savvy, the four of us. And when we went in, it was so interesting to see her body language. She was not hyper with us at all. She was lovely. She greeted us all and said hi and all that stuff, but she was not hyper or inappropriate at all with us. So it was just interesting to see her read energy. Now, speaking of energy, that is what wolves go by. Dogs go by energy, tone of voice, and body language. Wolves do not go by body language. They don't go by tone of voice. They go by energy solely. And they are so magical and so aligned intuitively and energetically that they know what you're going to do before you do it. So if you go to pet a wolf, they won't flinch, and be startled like a dog can be. They know what you're going to do before you do it. So if you walk in and they don't like your energy, or they don't like what you're going to do, they will move away from you. They won't stay there. And so that was so interesting to see how important energy is. It was an education for me that I would like to actually practice and learn more about, because I do think controlling our energy, sending out certain vibes when you're around all animals is so important. And for a wolf, it is the important thing. It is the sole thing that is the most important thing to them is energy, which is, again, such a beautiful thing. But I think we can take that piece of advice and apply it to all the animals in our life and probably the people in our life too. Now, the other thing I learned is that wolves have 30% bigger brains than dogs do. So highly intelligent creatures that they are. The other thing I learned is they have far less facial muscles in their face. So they don't emote the same way that a dog does. Now, their body does similar things to a dog, like their hackles can go up, the tail wags, things like that. But their face doesn't do those subtle changes that help us know what our dogs are feeling. I know with my dog and with Trippy too, he was so expressive. I can just look and see everything's on the face, how they feel, what they're thinking, it's all right there. So a wolf is not like that at all. You cannot look at a wolf and read their body language or read what they're feeling or thinking based on their face alone. So I thought that was fascinating. Now, wolves, because they're so instinctual, that is part of what makes, and they're like from the universe, and they're magic. They're absolute magic. And that's why I would encourage anybody that is an animal lover, especially people who work with dogs or work with any animal, if you get a chance to go to a proper wolf sanctuary and observe them, maybe interact with them, then I encourage you to do so, because there is a lot we can learn from wolves. And I really wish I lived closer so that I could maybe have more experiences or volunteer, and I don't know if they even allow something like that, but I wish there was, I had an opportunity to learn more about wolves, because I think that would be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So again, it's called Sedona Wolf Sanctuary, and Xavier and Cynthia are the people who run it, and they are such lovely human beings who are just passionate about what they do, passionate about the history of the property, the land, of course about wolves, and they were just very educational, and it was a healing experience, an educational experience, and one I will never, ever forget. So that was my experience at the Wolf Sanctuary. I'm gonna add some pictures and a video to this video as well, so that you can see what it was like. And I hope all this information helps you. Mind your energy. It is more important than we think it is. Happy training, happy drinking. I'm gonna post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so very much. I will see you guys next time.